Good morning, grade 4. Mr. Mo here. Welcome to Theme. Today is March 4th, and for today's lesson, we are going to be talking about food waste and conserving energy in our homes. So let's get ready to go and get into it, shall we? So today we're going to be trying to think about ways of conserving resources in and around a home. What can we do to save here and there? Right, our aims for today is to understand the importance of conserving food, water, and energy supplies. Our success criteria is that you should be able to explain the term efficiency and conservation. What do they mean? You should be able to identify ways to reduce food wastage. You can identify ways to reduce water wastage. You can identify ways to reduce energy usage. And you can identify ways to reduce your carbon footprint. You also should be able to explain how small changes can lead to big impacts. Even you can make a difference, because if you make a difference and we all do our part, then little changes can all lead up to big impacts in the end. So, efficiency and conservation. What do you think efficiency means? Let's try to think of two definitions of what efficiency means. Well, one definition is using resources as wisely as possible. You are being efficient with the resources that you have. Also, you're using those resources as sparsely as possible. Just because you have the resource doesn't mean you have to use it or waste it. So, reducing our food waste. This is a pie chart, and this is an example of your average house and what we waste in it. Now, before we dive into our pie chart, I want you to pause the video and go into the folder and look in the food waste video that I put in there, and we can discuss it afterwards. The video really illustrates the amount of waste that we create every day, from shops to houses to our local grocery stores. So, back to our pie chart. So, what kind of foods do we waste the most? By looking at our pie chart, can we figure out which colors and spaces are the biggest? And why do you think people throw away so much food? Well, a lot of the times we don't like blemishes. Sometimes it's the expiration date that puts us off. A lot of the time we buy too much food and we forget that we have it until it's too late and it's gone past its expiration date. So organization is important. So what can we do at home to reduce our food waste? Well, first, you should shop realistically. Make a list and know what you're going to buy before you go to the shop. Next is to cook realistically. Measure out portion sizes when cooking so you don't have a lot of leftovers that you're going to end up throwing away because you never ate anyway. Next is to actually eat those leftovers. If you do have extra food, put them in proper storage so you can save them and eat them later. Don't forget, food storage is important. If you can put it in the freezer, you can seal it up, or put it in the fridge in a proper container so you can eat it later. This one is very important. Keep the fridge, freezer, and cupboard tidy so you know what you have, so when the time comes you can use it in a proper, timely manner. Know your dates. Just because it has a date doesn't mean it's not good to eat. Know the product so you know if it's good to throw away or good to keep, depending on what it is. This idea can help a lot. Keep a record of what you throw away. If you can see how much you're wasting, you will remember not to buy as much next time. An amazing idea is to donate that wasted food to food banks or food shelters. Somebody is always hungry out there and could always use an extra meal if they need it. Another amazing idea is to freeze or preserve the food. If bananas are going bad, you can throw them in the freezer and make banana bread later on whenever you want. And finally, try composting. This one's very difficult in Shanghai, but a lot of the times you can throw your wet food and compost it, making new, fresh dirt. So what does this all mean? All these small changes, can they lead to big impacts? In our folder, you're going to find the homework for this week. Now be careful when choosing 1-star, 2-star, 3 stars. A lot of the things that you can do are kind of difficult to get into and might involve a lot of math. But questions that you should ask: what impacts could you do in your home? Also, what reductions in the use of resource would those changes make? And how will it impact you and your community if done properly? To give you some ideas, you can go into the folder and watch the second video about energy saving in the home. That'll help you, give you ideas on what you can do. So I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Do you think that you could make small changes that you've identified? Actually make those changes? So if you did make those changes as a household, would you be able to see the savings in your water bill or electric bill, that you would actually see the results? Do you think we can make some changes in our classroom? Are there ideas that you and your teacher could come up with to actually make a difference in our own classrooms? So let's think about this big picture. What kind of big impacts can we make if one household and all households make the same change? Let's imagine we're living in the UK and all 26 million households make the same small change. Now, if we take that small change and we multiply it by 26 million households, that ends up being a pretty big impact that we've made. So, what have we learned today? I hope we can understand the importance of conserving food, water, and energy supplies. You should be able to explain what efficiency and conservation means. You should be able to identify ways to reduce our food wastage. You should be able to identify how to reduce our water wastage. You should be able to identify how to reduce our energy usage. You should be able to identify ways to reduce our carbon footprint. And you should be able to explain how small changes can lead to big impacts. Great job today, guys. Thursday's video is going to be about resources and are there actually enough resources for us all to go around? We'll see you on Thursday, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.